Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for a late start. We had some issues with, last minute scheduling. We had to postpone some stuff, but here we are indeed, ladies and gents. Welcome. Uh, welcome. Let me pull up all the speakers on stage. We're going to start in just a minute. Allow me a couple of more minutes. Today, we're talking about protocols as ecosystems. What are they? What is actually a protocol? How should we understand these things? If you are a scheduled speaker, because I see a lot of speakers right now pulling up, send in a request and I'll pull you up on the stage. We're going to have a great conversation. Hopefully, Adam, our MC, will join as well. He's got a last minute doctor's appointment. So, health is important. I got my appointment tomorrow as well. Well, Bitcoin is definitely pumping. Let me see the price. So 117, it was over 120 yesterday. $120,000 is crazy. But some say it's going to go up, some say it's going to go down. I don't know.
Am I being rugged or is it the host account? I can't.
Oh, you can't hear us? What?
I don't.
Can you
I
guys
don't
hear
know.
me?
Maybe someone else can chime in. You were cutting out for me. I don't know if it was me or you. So maybe
Oh,
if another
wow.
speaker can chime in.
Okay, but can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Oh, okay. All right. Right. Okay. Well, as long as you can hear me now. Okay, great. All right. Perfect. How's it going, Wayne? How
Then
are you feeling today?
GM, doing great, doing great. Excited to be here. Always love these spaces. Love chopping it up with everybody here. So just another day of pushing crypto and Web3 forward.
Yes, sir, indeed. It's a great day. It's a great day indeed, right? I mean, we got Bitcoin over 110 steadily pumping and chilling over 110. So let's talk about some technical stuff. I had the pleasure of interviewing Sean, the co-founder of Infinion, yesterday. We're gonna post some of the clips from that interview soon enough. But oh boy, are we having some good times for the last few months? Right now, there is a crypto week. They call it a crypto week at the White House, which means that they are regulating a bunch of stuff. And finally, the day has come, ladies and gentlemen, where we will get some sort of regulations from the from the White House, which for the United States it means a lot because we're going to get some clarity over a lot of stuff, especially on the front of tokens, utility tokens, non-utility tokens, stuff like that. But without further ado, let's introduce some of our speakers. Soulbound, Marcelo, how's it going?
Hello, doing amazing. The market's good. I'm feeling good. It's a good Tuesday. It's good. Um, quick
It's
introduction.
Tuesday, ain't it?
Yes, sir. Quick introduction. My name is Marcello or Marcelo, head of Spaces here at Soulbound. We are a Web3 streaming platform. We've introduced a full stack of different things. We're doing things differently from a lot of the Web2 streaming platforms. We're introducing AgentFi. We've got some prediction markets. We've got our Telegram app. We've also got our TGE coming up very soon. Market's looking good, so that's beautiful. But I'll leave it at that. I don't want to keep my introduction too long. Happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
No worries, sir. Absolutely enjoy having you at all of the spaces. Fellow marketer, let's say. Also, you said you have some South American in you, I believe, right? Is it Peruvian or Chilean? If I'm not
Y-
mistaken.
Yes, sir, you got it. My mother's from Peru.
Ah, Peru. Okay. Okay. Nice. Great. Never been to Peru, but they say it's great. Um, nice.
The food
Okay,
is
let's.
beautiful. And the
Oh,
weather.
really? Oh, the weather must be amazing. Oh, nice. Well, I'm cooking here, and I'm being actually cooked here in the Eastern European side. So yeah, weird stuff. Let's move around the room. Co-op Network has joined us gracefully. How's it going?
Hi. Thanks for having us. Fine. Everything looks fine. We're working on our protocol. We'll finish up these days, and yes, things are looking great.
Nice, nice, awesome stuff. Glad to have you join ecosystem as well. Hi, join. How's it going? Well, it wouldn't be a data fill space if somebody didn't rug, right? We can't hear you, join. So maybe try. Oh,
Am I audible now?
okay. Yes, you are. How's it going?
Yeah, thanks. It's going good. I'm from Join. Uh, I just want to briefly introduce what Join is all about without taking much of your time. So Join Dare is a next generation hybrid platform that merges the best of Web2 familiarity with 3 innovation. We are available both on mobile and web, and
And you rugged?
for interaction including social
Okay.
networking, engagement, Quest, and Launchpad.
Oh, your your internet is cutting out. Join. Make sure you're close to the router. Have you tried restarting the browser, sir? Anyway, welcome. Thanks for joining. Try being closer to the router. But Pradeep, welcome, sir, from PAI3. How's it going? Long time no hear. Why is everybody like? Is it me? Am I rugging? It's like, what's going on?
You're
No,
Hello.
it's
good.
him. It says connecting
Okay.
under his name.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Pradeep, I don't want to say anything about Indian internet, man, but 2 out of 2 so far. Like,
Oh no,
guys,
he's in Florida now.
oh, I'm just being good old racist, I guess. Sorry, guys. That was a joke, by the way. Please don't cancel me. This is, by the way, this is Daddy Phil, so that nobody's affiliating any of my own thoughts to Infinion. Daddy Phil speaking from the account. Please don't cancel me or don't cancel Infinion. With that being said, Miai, welcome, sir, directly from Prague. How's it going?
All right, let's
Hey
try
guys,
again.
good morning and good afternoon,
Oh, sorry.
wherever you are. Yeah, you can hear me, right? I'm not rugging right
Yes,
now.
yes. We can hear
Yeah.
both of you now.
Okay, yeah, I'm doing great. It's actually very hot here in Prague. So anyone who's down here, can come and visit. But yeah, we are a startup company based out of Prague, mainly doing agentic AI systems for B2B companies, and MII is our first Web3 artist system that would be able to automate everything and create different persona for any creator, content creator. So the plan is to have her integrated to all the Web3 functionalities, and also most likely at the end would be to gaming and VR. And fun fact, if anyone would like to know, a funny story happened. One of our automation AI bots that we are experimenting actually tried to gauge more followers. It has also some part of N8N connections, and it started unfollowing, following people. So it was kind of rogue at some point. So just letting you know, sometimes this is a kind of exciting journey, and AI agentic systems are very kind of dangerous at some point if you can't control them. Yeah. So.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Skynet incoming, indeed. Um, we got Pradeep, who lost join, but he'll probably come back. Pradeep, how's it going?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Sorry for accusing you for being in
I
India.
heard you. No worries. I hail from India, but I've been in the US 35 years, so it's been a
Oh,
while, and
wow.
I'm actually looking forward to going back. But
But I guess
GM,
they
GM.
didn't give you a green card anyway, right?
Well, it's unfortunate because in India now you need a visa to go back, even though you were born
Oh,
there.
wow, really?
So but anyway, the world is
Damn.
becoming less globalized. GM, everyone. I've been away for a week. Glad to be back. Always great to be part of these X Spaces. Good to see Wayne and Miai and Soulbound. Always a pleasure to talk to all of you together. Introduction about PAI3 as is warranted. PAI3 is an edge AI container system designed to serve professionals who need to maintain data privacy and confidentiality. Think of a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, a dentist, a chiropractor, your real estate agent, your financial planner, your insurance broker. All of these people currently are not able to use SaaS-based AI or shouldn't because they can't legally upload your information to XAI. They shouldn't and can't. And even if they get an inference, it's going to be generic. So what PAI3 does is solves the three problems: trust, transparency, and risk management. So trust in AI is achieved by making sure that the agent, model, oracle behavior is fully transparent and it's been verified. So you're not just downloading some agent from Hugging Face and hoping that you can use it in your business. You can't and you won't. So we solved those three issues of how do you know what the agent is doing, what model it's consuming, what resources it's using, why you can use it in your business. Accountability in the sense that there is a community-sponsored risk mitigation pool. If an agent does do harm to your business, if it does do bad things, then the community has a mechanism to make you whole. You contribute into the pool like everybody else. So it's kind of like an insurance policy against bad AI. So trust, transparency, and risk management. And only Web3 allows this kind of a model to emerge because you would otherwise have to go to a completely centralized agentic company like XAI and get an insurance company from Lloyd's, which would never happen. So we are basically saying that AI should be made available to professionals to use in a compliant environment against their personal and professional data in a privacy preserving way. And all this whole ecosystem of agents, models, oracles, data sets should be transparent, verifiable, and accountable to the community. And the community underwrites the risk of bad agents. That's what PAI3 is. But we'll look forward to talking about protocols as ecosystems because it's really fundamental to how we envision a future post-XAI, post-OpenAI world. And I'm very excited to be here. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely blessed to have you, sir. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed your week off. With that being said, Mete, I think you are last but certainly not least to speak and introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hello everyone. Good days from Turkey, Istanbul. Actually, my internet connection is good. Turkish internet is good. Don't worry. And then I'm an academician in Turkey, giving global lectures in all around the world. It has been 11 years that I'm in the blockchain and crypto, and doing lots of stuff, working with Sui and Binance as a advisor and a trainer, and working with AI companies as a consultant. Now, tokenization and also product design and everything else made by me. I'm doing lots of stuff, and I don't want to make you late for the space. And I think that's briefly all.
Appreciate it, sir. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks. Excuse me. Thanks for coming on. We also got Adam from the Lunar Pamp account, but I don't want to pressure him. Whenever he's able to speak, feel free to chime in. Oh,
Hey.
oh hey.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting in a doctor's clinic right now with my kids, so I might be in and out a little bit, but yeah, great to be here. Great lineup. So yeah, I'm here. I'm on the Lunar Pump Fund account, which is the flagship product for the Infinion ecosystem and blockchain. It's a multi-chain token launcher. We're just about to implement Solana. Currently, we have the ability to launch on Infinion, Base, and BNB. We have the whole idea, it ties into the Infinion ecosystem. The whole idea is that we make things a lot safer and less scammy for investors, developers who want to do truly fair launches. So we have an ICO feature in there. It's an initial community offering that allows everybody to get in at the same price point during the bonding phase, so no one dumps. This also happens in the very first block, so you mitigate snipers, so your token isn't going to get sniped. We've got a ton of other functions that help in the launch process. I've pinned our post up there on the top for the Lunar Pump Fund account. I'll also pin up the Infinion white paper if anyone wants to go and check it out. I won't take up too much time here because I know we've got a good topic to get into. So, yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Superstar lineup here. Love it. Looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you, sir. Let's dive into the long-awaited conversation. Excuse me. So, how do we define protocols? First off, and I want to ask Pradeep because Pradeep, you seem to know the most, at least in my estimation, way more than I can know. So, when we call protocol an ecosystem, what does that actually mean beyond just a buzzword or branding?
Well, thank you for asking. I don't think that I'm the most knowledgeable person, but I will provide my perspective. So, protocol in the Web3 blockchain space is a set of constructs. It's a set of smart contracts bound to a certain ledger that gives you complete transparency into what the protocol, the smart contract logic is doing. So in that sense, it's a technical construct, right? Protocol is something that is built on top of a blockchain, a set of smart contracts that interact with each other to deliver a predefined functionality. Now, the community, the ecosystem are people who use the protocol to do things. Builders, we call them builders or builders who build dApps on it, who build additional applications and logic on top of the protocol. You have people who run the blockchain, validators, delegators. You have people who use the protocol and its applications in their life or in their business. And then, of course, you have some kind of a foundation or entity that's promoting this ecosystem, drawing in more users, more builders, more clients, more stakers. So the difference is protocol is something the ecosystem is built around, but ecosystem has stakeholders who want to be rewarded for whatever they're contributing, and protocol is the fabric on which everybody is collaborating. So that's how I see it. Now, protocols as ecosystems, I think is a very profound question because in the Web3 space, being decentralized, we want to allow the ecosystem to evolve on the premise of whatever the protocol says you are supposed to do. In our case, PAI3, our protocol is that everybody can build, operate, use, stake, review agents, and the protocol governs that behavior. But in terms of what role you choose to play is entirely up to you. And our job at PAI3 is to ensure that every stakeholder, be it a user or a builder or a client or a consumer, role is well defined. So that's what we are supposed to do. But as an ecosystem manager, our job is to make sure that the economic incentives, the tooling, and the education and engagement is well constructed so people can actually participate. So I see the ecosystem as the actual equivalent of running a business, running a company. You're building an ecosystem, and the protocol is the technical framework on which everybody collaborates. And if you have a well-designed protocol, ecosystem should grow organically. And if you have a protocol that prohibits or makes ecosystem growth difficult, no matter how good your technical construct is, people aren't going to adopt it. So I see the design of the protocol to have a profound impact on how big your ecosystem will be, whether it's in terms of how people onboard, in terms of how people onboard their fiat or their cryptocurrencies. It's how easy it is to build apps and so on. So that's why I think protocol design and ecosystem growth are fundamentally codependent.
Okay. So, excuse me. So it's not just a builders that build, but an entire. All right. So that does make sense. The entire ecosystem of different players and different stakeholders
Yeah, if I may just add
intertwined.
one sentence there, like
Sure.
what we realize at PAI3 protocol is that we can invite every builder on the planet to build agents, but if nobody's using and paying for those agents, even if you get a bunch of free users through airdrops and gaming, wonderful, but where's the money? Who's gonna get paid if everything is pro bono, enthusiast building, enthusiastic users using, but there's no revenue? So we designed the PAI3 protocol to focus on B2B adoption, and we had to bake into the protocol B2B adoption features, things like we underwrite agents. So if agents do harm, you have a recourse. The protocol will reimburse you, or the protocol will pay for repairing the agent. So that kind of a protocol design aligned with your ecosystem business model is needed. Otherwise, you have great tech that never scales, or you have really bad protocol scaling, but they're not sustainable because they're built on a, essentially a Ponzi model. So if you want to build a sustainable ecosystem, your protocol has to support it fundamentally, intrinsically designed to do that, which is why we introduced automatic staking of agent revenue into a risk pool. So if you're going to make money by publishing an agent and having doctors use it, you also need to be able to underwrite your agent's misbehavior. So that's an example of a protocol design feeding into an ecosystem growth.
All right, let's go. Such an educated take, sir. Appreciate you being on week in and week out. Enjoying hearing you on. It's another conversation how AIs support ecosystems and how AIs actually make ecosystems possible. It's a really interesting thing as well. Um, Wayne, I see your hand up. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I mean, really, I don't have much to add to what Pradeep said. Very thorough and everything else. And for us, ecosystem is everything that he mentioned, but also for us, like we built the protocol. Our protocol is an ecosystem. We built the layer one chain that governs the protocol because it needed its own governance model to make sure it's not corrupted when you're dealing with things like wallet addresses. So for us, ecosystem was a key to our success. It's the community, it's the players involved, but it's also our partners because when we set out to build a protocol that was going to simplify the user experience in wallets, we didn't say we're going to build our own wallet. We're going to build a protocol that any and every wallet exchange or anywhere else can integrate. So every partner that we've onboarded that is using one piece or multiple pieces of our protocol, that's our ecosystem. We wouldn't have gotten to the amount of users we have today if it wasn't for each one of those ecosystem partners. And so I think that's a key to growth is if you're a protocol, is figuring out who can benefit from utilizing your protocol and go out and find those people. That's why we've signed a lot of partnerships over the years. Trust Wallet, Edge Wallet, MetaMask, Binance, even as recently, with PAI3, which we're excited about because we realize that humans aren't the only ones that are going to need, wallet handles and some of the other protocols that go along with using those handles. It's going to be agents, it's going to be devices, it's going to be nodes. And so building out whatever your protocol is, it's finding those collaborations and those partnerships that are going to help grow. That's a thriving ecosystem in itself is when you can find people with shared values or find the value in what your protocol can bring to users and putting that into their ecosystem as well. So it's kind of like shared ecosystems. They're part of our ecosystem and we're part of their ecosystem.
Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it and how we encourage people as well as builders, not only just the builders, but regular people. And this comes, it's sort of an extension of a Web3 ethos where we try to incorporate the everyman or the little man or call it whatever, the individual agency, how we encourage them to come on board. I wonder if we have anything that we can draw examples from for this. Like, is there in real world, is there some sort of example that can tell us a little bit more about how these decentralized things work? One example I would say, although not being a US citizen or native, in any sense of that word, um, I I still can say that I've researched United States a lot, and I think the political system in United States, and I don't mean the politics, but I mean the citizens of United States, the economic structure is structured in a way that resembles more or less a decentralized structure. And by that, I mean, um, you have people, individuals, regular folk that can make their own businesses and that can, fully flesh out and grow their businesses. And the government, the government more or less will not interfere. Obviously, it has caveats, it has all the details, but the individualistic culture, I think, is maximized in the US, because compared to the US, I mean, Europe has more of a collectivist structure. And I don't mean anything bad or negative about either of these, but the way it's structured is then translated also into how people think about their lives, how people think about politics, how they think about economic growth. You know, like this is my lawn, and if you step on it, I'll shoot you. It goes as far as that, and it is somewhat of a decentralized structure, because then you have to convince each and every person to come on board with your initiative, so to speak. So I wonder if we can draw some more examples of that as well. But Marcelo, I know you have things to say. Go ahead.
I do have things to say. No, I think already some points were already touched on. I don't want to repeat too much, but overall, when it comes to protocols as ecosystems, right? I think traditionally speaking, a protocol is basically just backend tech, rules, infrastructure, consensus. I think the way we're approaching things, and I think it's the right way to do it, is as a living ecosystem. You've got developers, you've got users, you've got dApps, you've got governance, tokens, you've got culture. You're creating a whole paradigm that people are a part of and contributing to and creating value from, right? So I think it's a bit of a different approach. I think, traditionally speaking, in terms of like, I think of, traditionally speaking, I think protocols are kind of looked as, or a lot of platforms have been closed ecosystems, right? I think of things like Apple, I think of Meta. What's beautiful about Web3 protocols, they're open, they're permissionless layers, they create value, and everybody that's a part of it is essentially contributing to the ecosystem, right? So I think, yeah, I think it's beautiful because it really creates a whole dynamic where, um, yeah, you have builders, you have native apps, you have a community where they could contribute with governance. You have all these different things that I think creates a whole, yeah, a whole different ecosystem that you could essentially build together, right? It's I kind of see collaboration over competition rather than just trying to compete with one another. Instead, it's everybody's kind of building together because we all want this ecosystem to thrive. So I really think of it as a different paradigm, a different mindset, and I think that that's what's beautiful about what Web3 brings to the table on many fronts is that it's the collaborative effort or the collaborative nature of it all that the idea that if we work together or we collaborate or we exchange value or provide value together on the same network, we all kind of win together, right? So that's what kind of comes to mind when I think of protocols as ecosystems. I think traditionally speaking, for a protocol is essentially just a tech stack, but yeah, as an ecosystem, it's so much more, and it's a whole little thing going on between everybody that's contributing to the network. So yeah, that's what kind of comes to mind when I think of this.
Yes, sir. Indeed, that's a really good point. The the question is, how do we reward people adequately, and how do we encourage them? What are some of the incentives that people would want to see when we're dealing with this stuff, and when we're trying to incorporate them into you know uh, our ecosystem or our protocol? Pradeep, I think you had your hand raised. You Did you want to add anything?
No, I think Wayne and Marcelo covered it. I will come back a little bit later, but I don't want to hog the conversation. Thank you for asking me to speak. I'll be listening in.
All right, no problem at all. How do you design a protocol that doesn't just work technically but fosters life around it as well? Mr. Mete, would you like to chime in?
Yep. Hi again. Actually, if you want to build a protocol, it has to be. What's on my mind is about the project, about the protocol, is to save the people's life. Okay, or touch one of thing on their heart, on their brain, and solve something. And it will be like a bit, or it will be like a huge. This has to, because the blockchain has been created for the people. The Bitcoin has been created for the people, for the rich people, for the living freely. Okay, if some protocol has to be has to be made by the people or doing something, and a lot of professionals talking about sustainability and also professionalism and also scalability, everything else. But actually, what's on my mind is for the creating protocol is the sole people's abuse solution, for example, eating solution, farming solution, or anything else, or education solution. If a protocol solves a solution, that means that this protocol is usable by every people. It has to be user friendly, by the way. And if this protocol is used for to save people lives or save time for the people, it means that that's huge, and that means it's creative, and we can go through it.
Yeah, the way we foster these is really important. The way we encourage people to come on board with our idea. What elements allow others to build, grow, and especially stay? I know one thing, Infineon really supports that through their really interesting tokenomics. I highly recommend you guys checking it out. We've pinned the Infineon white paper on top. The way these economics pump each other's tokens, the way it goes back into the ecosystem is really interesting. So I really recommend you guys check it out. Um, Co-op, what are your thoughts on this? How do we encourage people, and how do we design protocols that doesn't just work, that don't just work technically? What are some of the elements that allow others to build and grow on our ecosystems?
Yes, we made a lot of research what people really want. First of all, and I'm talking about normal people, normal working people. They want their money to be safe, first of all. So a lot of people left crypto because they got burned, they got rug pulled, and so on. So we adapted our protocol to these normal needs. So our protocol has just we didn't even launch a token yet, but we build the following features, and these were taken out from discussions with different people. So first of all, you have the savings option, which is staking, which gives you a certain percentage of return. Then you have the lending and borrowing option, um, which doesn't work like the normal banking system because it doesn't ask for interest rate. There is a certain uh, contract interaction built in, so you don't pay interest rate. You use the utility token for borrowing, and you pay in utility tokens your borrowed amount. It's a ethical finance feature. Then we have a community emergency fund where every member can contribute. If a community member has some problems, some health problems, or I don't know, he lost his house or something, he can ask for help. We have a governance portal for all the members to vote on certain things that should happen on the protocol. And beside that, so that the token has a real utility, we are just finishing up with our bartering system, a bartering marketplace, where members can offer their goods and services. Everything's getting paid in the protocol token. For now, we have integrated only our own token, but we are looking forward to integrate also others. On the other hand, we have a community hall where members can meet once a month and exchange ideas. We have workshops which can be organized for community members. And we have a trading strategy platform where users can learn how to trade and not to lose money. Um, Everything is built around a three token system. One is the utility token. The second one is a equity token, a ownership token. If you own that token, you have ownership rights on the protocol. And then we have a RVA section. And here we are still building for the RVA interaction because we want to integrate a decentralized ID system. So we won't store the user's data centralized. So it has to be decentralized. And this way, users can also invest in real world assets, which can be real estate, commodities, or anything else. That's how we build.
Mete, we can hear you. You're unmuted.
Yeah, that's how we build our protocol. And yes, it's based on what we researched from different people.
Nice.
We used around 60 people to build and design the entire protocol.
Oh, nice. Nice. The research is really cool. I really like the way the research route because well, first of all, I am myself am a researcher. I have a master's degree in sociology, so getting research and stuff, but um uh, another thing is which is really interesting, you mentioned, the responsibility of a protocol to its downstream builders, users, and adjacent projects as well. Should protocols curate the kinds of participants they want, or should it be radically open to all contributors? We've had different examples through Ethereum, through different, layer one chains, layer two ecosystems as well. Really curious what your thoughts on this are, guys. Join. I think you have your hand next. Go ahead.
I think it should be open for all because if we control the protocol, then how are we going to develop into a proper ecosystem? And I think almost all the points have been mentioned by our team members. Uh, but for a protocol to grow into an ecosystem, we need to have active builders so that it doesn't get stagnant. And we need to incentivize the builders and the users of any protocol in order to grow into an ecosystem. Besides that, it should also have a community first approach because as we see that many protocols don't have that, like having communities on Discord, Telegrams, and Twitter forums for support, etc. So like see Ethereum is a very good example of a protocol that's decentralized. uh, and one more thing, this is happening in many protocols. So recently many protocols are building on privacy, so they are using zk rollups for users identity. That's also a good solution. And developing things around the decentralized identity solutions like DID and ZK rollups, so to preserve the identity that was basically inherent with the decentralized nature of the blockchain. So I think that's are some few good use cases of that.
Yeah, there are some really good use cases, and I like that you mentioned ZK rollups. Those are really interesting. I still can't fully grasp the way ZK rollups work because we have zero knowledge rollups and then there are optimistic rollups. And Pradeep, if you could, enlighten us a little bit, see your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to come back to the previous statement question that you asked, Join, which I think is a very good point raised. In the from a protocol and ecosystem design, I believe that you should have open access but well-defined roles, and they need to go hand in hand. So open access meaning there is no access control. Anybody should be able to come into your protocol, into your ecosystem, use your protocol to build something, use something, pay for something, stake something, buy something. There should not be a requirement for me to disclose the name of my dog or my identity or have seek permission from anyone. That is, that's the ideal.
What is your name? What is the name of your dog? What are you hiding?
Exactly, which I would have to buy a dog to tell you that. But there's an alternative, which is that in any ecosystem, you gotta have roles. Now you gotta have a role of a builder, a reviewer, a tester. I'm using PAI3 as an example. In our ecosystem, you can sign up to be a builder. We don't really prevent you from being a builder. But when you sign up to be a reviewer, for you to gain certain reputation, certain repute in the ecosystem, you got to present some credentials or do some activity. And that role grows in stature. So if a highly reputed reviewer reviews my agent and gives it a thumbs down, it's going to have a more negative impact on my agent than if somebody who is a relatively fresh reviewer who gives me a thumbs up. So what I'm trying to say is for ecosystems to thrive, they should be open access, but they should still have a measure of roles and accountability and proficiency. So if I am able to establish my proficiency through my action or through documentation or through degrees or certification, it gives me the ability to contribute more to the ecosystem. And if you take in the example of PAI3 nodes, if you're willing to publish the geolocation of your node, you get some extra reputation points because that gives the ability for the users to say, look, I need my inference to be processed within the boundaries of my country because of legal compliance risk. So those nodes that have published their geolocation, I want to limit my inference to those nodes. So that kind of classification system that the protocol can organically support will lead to a healthier ecosystem, because a truly blind ecosystem where we know nothing about each other and we only know what the protocol enables in terms of inter-role communication really becomes very limiting when you start talking about B2B adoption, when you start talking about B2G adoption, when you even start talking about sensitive data handling or large amounts of money being transacted. So I believe that protocol should be absolutely open access, no doubt. We shouldn't be blocking access to the protocol, and the ecosystem should be healthy. But for ecosystem to be truly successful, you gotta have a classification / role based layer on top of the open access. That's my view.
All right. Very, very good points raised by Mr. Pradeep. Thank you for that enlightening thoughts. Yeah, the quality assurance, let's say, or quality control is huge deal, so to speak. But yeah, this is really interesting because once you built it, then it's on its own, and the idea of protocols as ecosystems is that specific idea where once you've launched it, you can't go back. So what that means is, um, we had Ross guy. I don't remember his full name, but Ross, the guy who created what did he create? Jeff Ross? Was it Jeff Ross? Yeah, no,
Are you
that's not
talking
Jeff
about?
Ross.
You're not talking about the Silk Road, huh?
I think so. Yes,
It's only
yes, yes.
Ross I know. Oh, Ross Ulbricht. Yeah, Silk Road.
Ross Albert. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ross Albert. Ross Al. Okay. All right. Yeah, Silk Road. Yeah. So once you build it, you're arguably you're not responsible on what goes on in it. So it kind of has like a life on its own, and the way you support it, the way you nurture it, the way you foster that life is what makes you successful or not successful. On Infineon's case, I really like that. Infineon helps people launch their token, support this token, keep the token going, as well as And I was talking with Sean, the founder of Infinion, and he was telling me that they haven't made a single dime yet from Infinion. Obviously, it's a business. They're eventually going to make some money out of it, but they still haven't because it's a long-term game, and it's a really, really cool idea that he looks at it in this way. He's looking to reinvest everything he makes so that the ecosystem can grow. So yeah, loving the discussion. I want to ask you for some final thoughts and closing statements because we are nearing this hour. We like to do these every single Tuesday as well. Miai, I realize you haven't spoken much on today's space. Is there anything you want to add, sir, before we wrap things up?
Yeah, guys, I know I'm just trying to fix some issues that I had right now, like in our system. But yeah, good. I was learning a lot from the speakers, which is like good points were raised. And I mean, anything if I had to add is even now I'm coming to the realization that I mean, like proof of human, for example, might be kind of a trap. I mean, this is the only thing I could add that might be related to this topic. People keep trying to push or anchor that the systems back, like human verified is always the best option, with 2 KYCs and so on. But I think in agentic systems or in agentic networks, I mean that becomes kind of the bottleneck, right? And kind of also a false sense of safety for people to think about. So the real question would be, is this logic safe to scale? Like, do we still need to have this proof of human available, or to just directly full out stop doing this and just jump to the next stage? And I'm starting to think better to just completely drop even the proof of human and fully just trust the system. I think that's where I'm headed
Yeah,
with the
well, I
current
mean,
problems. So yeah.
yeah, man, why not? I mean, it's all about it's all about the outlook and how well we can construct these. Thanks for jumping in. It's been a wonderful discussion. Mete, is there anything you want to add, sir, before we wrap up?
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be with those kind of professionals in that very enormous topic. I just want to say, if you want to build a protocol, you don't have to tokenize it. First product, first protocol, and test it. If it is working without any product, tokenization is just dumping to people for to get investment. Just first made the product and taste it. If it is works, you can tokenize everything else. Just work, work, work. Thank you very much for having me, and greetings to everyone for to be
Work,
here.
work, 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 work. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for jumping
Thank
in.
you.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you
Thank you.
having the time to talk with us. Pradeep, anything you want to add before we finish up?
Well, again, great panel, really great speakers, and you're an excellent host. Always enjoy being here. Definitely look forward to the next panel as well with all of you. From my point of view, I think the protocol ecosystem interchangeably used are fundamental for us to build a Web3 economy that bridges over to Web2. We have to at some point, and I think we're getting closer and closer to that, where Web3 is seamlessly bridged to what we today would call brick and mortar or Web2 business, centralized IT and centralized banking, and very consumer dependent upon centralized service providers. And if we design, as we start to design protocols and ecosystems that do allow uh, permissionless access, and one of the speaker just said, maybe even human verification absence, and that will depend upon the use case, of course. But long and short of it is, I think this is a very profound topic. As Mete said, this is a very big topic. But I'm very excited about seeing the kind of innovation that is in this space that you're starting to see, where we are really starting to bridge the interests of consumers and businesses into Web3 protocols. And I think that's the ultimate goal. Otherwise, you're building tech that nobody cares about except a small group. And that transition I've seen happen over the last 8 years that I've been involved in the blockchain Web3 space. And I couldn't be more excited Bitcoin pumping notwithstanding, I think we are at a great point where Web3 is starting to assert its own value in a way that is undeniable. So thanks for having me,
Yes,
and look
sir.
forward to the next space.
Absolutely. I love having you, sir. Always. I love sharing and hearing your what you have to share. Join, sir. Anything you want to add?
I don't have much to add. It was a quite an insightful session for me. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide as much value from these spaces as possible instead of just projects mindlessly shilling. Let's talk about something interesting. Hopefully, we provide some kind of enlightenment or insights to the people listening. Co op, what are your final thoughts?
Yes, for us, it's very important for builder to build with integrity, first of all, and to showcase real use cases in order for to attract more people to the space and to build much more trust than there is now. And otherwise, I don't know what to say anything more. Integrity is number one for us. So thanks for having us.
Yes, indeed. Integrity and building with meaning, building with purpose. You got to know what you're building, friends. Unless you do, how are you going to build it? You got to know exactly what you're doing and why you are doing. Don't just drop tokens just because of, dropping tokens, and don't buy NFTs just because they're NFTs. Buy and build with purpose. Marcelo, some closing statements from you, sir.
Not really. I feel like a lot was touched here. This was a really interesting conversation. Always learning from the incredible panelists. I would just say make sure to give everybody a follow here because everybody on stage is absolutely, yeah, dropping some gems.
Ah, man.
But yeah, no, that's all for me.
What a guy! What a guy Marcelo is. Exactly. Give Marcelo a follow first and foremost, and everybody else. People are awesome. People that are here are actually building some stuff. So check them out. Give them a follow. It doesn't cost anything. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to invest in anything. Just check them out. Maybe you like them. Theo, Wayne, anything you want to add, sir?
Man, great conversation today. I always get to into these spaces. I'm like, how is it already an hour and we've barely scratched the surface? So I'm excited. These spaces happen every week. So also everybody that's listening, make sure you follow and also not only just follow everybody here, but look for the spaces that all of us are participating in because it's always good conversation. I think it's moving the space forward, and we get a chance to really share what we know and our insights with people that are maybe just trying to learn, just trying to grow, and that those people can turn into builders as well in the future. So great space as always, and I love the comment, building on purpose, because you're right. So many projects out there just drop a project or a token just to launch it and figure out what the purpose is. What's the utility? Every time I have somebody send me something to look at, I'm like, what's the purpose of this? I had somebody send me 100 NFTs this morning, and I'm like, what's the purpose of this? It just looks like an image of some baseless image. It doesn't have any utility. So let's focus on real purpose and real utility.
Yes, sir, indeed. Let's build with purpose. That being said, we do this every single Tuesday. Thanks for the kind words. Thank you for chiming in. It's a pleasure to talk with you week in and week out. Every Tuesday at 1 p.m. UTC, Infinion Spaces are on. Make sure not to miss them. And until then, enjoy your week. Cheers. Bye bye.